green herb, yeah. But I went ahead and beat the remake, the original on the. On the Dreamcast, which is a good port, by the way. Very good port. I liked it a lot. It looks better than the
PS1, and it looks about the same as the GameCube version. And, yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best ports of the game at the time, anyway. And also in the Dreamcast version, you can start off with unlockable costumes. Yeah. For some reason.
One of them is Regina.
Yeah, Regina's one of the costumes, because it came out the same year as Dino Crisis.
Which is awesome. Speaking of which, fucking remake Dino Crisis, man. That game is awesome. I like Dino Crisis a lot.
It's really weird that they don't, honestly, because it's a really unique horror game. Like, what other horror game has fucking dinosaurs, you know?
Yeah, if they make it control like the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, but they have
fucking raptors and shit.
Raptors and shit instead of zombies, I would be down for that, man. That would be awesome.
There's a lot of potential there, and put in the RE engine, and because it could basically play like the Resident Evil remakes and stuff. But just have dinosaurs and all that fun shit.
I don't think anybody would have a problem with it playing like the Resident Evil remakes, because the first one played like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Except you could move
just
while
a dinosaur.
aiming.
Oh yeah.
Which, why did it take so long to get that in Resident Evil?
Yeah, it wasn't until it actually wasn't until RE6, I think, in 2012. It took that fucking long, because obviously RE4 and RE5 you couldn't do it in. And it's like finally in RE6 of all games.
Yeah, RE5 is arguably when they should have added it.
It definitely would have helped that game a lot. I mean, the game's I think the game's really good as it is, but it definitely would have helped.
Yeah, I like 5, especially playing it like with you or something. I would love to do that on stream again someday. Play through that with you.
Oh fuck yeah, I'll do it.
Not for the channel, just to have fun playing it.
Yeah, I love to play through it to co-op with you again. That'll be a lot of fun. Because that's a really fun game to play co-op, honestly. Because I mean, people give shit for it because it's not it's definitely not a horror game. It's like an action game with horror elements.
Yeah,
it's definitely not a horror game. But I mean, it's a fun game though.
I would describe 4 as like horror with action elements.
Yeah.
Like 4 feels like a horror game to me. Like not survival horror, but horror.
Like it's definitely still trying to like attempt to be a horror game, because at least it takes place at night, and because unlike in RE5, they like basically like 3/4 of the game is during the day.
Yeah, RE4 was very much designed around the stop and aim control scheme, and you could get used to it, and it worked fine. RE5 really would have benefited from updating that.
Yeah. Because it definitely took a lot of cues from Gears of War, where you can like cover and shit, but like, I mean, it's trying to be an action game, but you can't fucking move and shoot. I mean, it's a huge like setback. I mean, at least that's being fixed, with every other current game now. But I mean, I just don't get why, because they definitely could have did it at the time. It's not like it was some kind of like hardware issue or something. It was definitely like a choice they made when making the game. think it'd be a lot of fun to play RE6 as well sometime. Because I never got
I
the
want to do
chance
that
to
one on
go
the channel for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little while before we get to that. The next one I want to do on the channel is 2. The original 2. Not the remake 2.
I scavenged this off a dead strong. It'll make your lightning gun damage multiple targets. Give it a try. Hit it!
And I've got the PlayStation version too. With the DualShock. Unfortunately, they did not change the music for the DualShock version of 2 on the PlayStation. Like they did for the DualShock version of 1 on the PlayStation. At least that gave us some good-ass memes.
Yeah.
Fucking basement music.
That's a funny story with that whole soundtrack and stuff, and the composer and whatnot.
Pretending to be deaf and shit, yeah.
He's a Japanese Beethoven, and apparently he wasn't. So I guess he intentionally made it to sound like shit to say like, oh well, I was deaf, I couldn't hear it. I don't know what I'm doing. It's not even just the basement theme, it's like the whole thing, like all the different different songs are all bad in their own special way.
Yeah. None of them are nearly as bad as the basement theme, though. That's why it gets
That's like, definitely the apex of the shittiness of that soundtrack. It's like I just can't. It kind of sucks because that was the first time I played the original Resident Evil was from that version, so I experienced that shitty soundtrack.
Yeah, that's the version that I own. That's the version I played on the channel. So
I just can't believe they actually went with that soundtrack. Because I mean, he was a really revered musician, and I guess that's why they didn't want to change it. They didn't want to tell him that it was bad.
Yeah.
Because I actually I listened to the audiobook Itchy Tasty, which is like the history of Resident Evil, unofficial history of Resident Evil, and I remember they got to that part in the book. And they said like how the developers thought it was shitty, they didn't like it, they didn't want to change it. Just the fact that it was because it was him. You know what I mean?
Oh, I need some health. Oh boy, do I need some health.
When was the last time you saved?
Well, I think there's health right down here. I think there was well, armor helps.
Could you hold still?
Okay, so that guy can still heal me. Good.
You're done. Move out, Marine.
Now let's save. Okay. And I'm playing through Code Veronica right now.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask where you were at in that game.
I ran across. What the fuck is that new enemy in it called?
Oh, Bandersnatch.
Yeah, one of those
long arms
guys. With the long arms that jumps
fucking
at
annoying.
you.
Yeah, they're so annoying. I always use the dual machine pistol things against them. If they still have that gun available. Did you get to the palace and stuff?
No, I ran around in the haunted house looking area with the bats.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
And the bats didn't even attack me the entire time. I just kind of pulled out my lighter and they just left me alone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, you still have the lighter. Another thing about that game I forgot to tell you is that did you find the hemostatic medicine?
Yeah, I found some.
Like if you take that back to what's his fucking name at the beginning of the game? I think his name's like Ricardo or something. If you go back to the beginning of the game in the jail cell, he's still there, and if you give that medicine to him, he gives you a lockpick, and you can use that to unlock like certain cabinets and stuff, get like ammo and items and stuff. It's like really useful. But he trades you the lighter for that.
Fuck. Okay. Well, I'll have to do that. I haven't gone back there in a while. So is the second disc the Chris disc? Or something?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Actually, I think the disc changes when you get to after you beat the plane tyrant boss. When you go to Antarctica, it changes, I think. Because you don't play as Chris until because you still play as Claire when you change discs, but like there's a certain point where you fight a certain boss, and then after the boss, something happens to the characters, and then you switch to Chris. And he goes through like the original areas and stuff and whatnot, and then he goes to Antarctica, and then. But the problem is you have to make sure that you don't have like whatever items that Claire's holding when you switch to Chris, like you won't be able to use those items. So if you have like certain weapons when you with Claire, like you won't be able to use them. So you got to make sure that you only have like a certain like handgun if you don't want to use that with Chris. Because Chris has his own handgun. He has a Glock. You can upgrade it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that game is just full of soft lock possibilities. That game is not really balanced well. It's I don't know.
One more reason that they should fucking remake it.
Yeah. There's a lot of different areas where you can just fuck yourself in the ass over. Like plane tyrant boss, you can like screw yourself, and obviously the biggest thing is the empty fire extinguisher thing. Because like I guess you don't really need the Magnum, but it certainly helps. I mean, it certainly helps later in the game.
Just get there as soon as you can.
Because you can literally kill one of the Alexia boss fights with like 5 or 6 Magnum rounds, and then she's dead. It kind of trivializes the boss, but
yeah, it wouldn't be Resident Evil without the Magnum.
Yeah. They just didn't really think it through when they made the game. Because why would you ever think to take the empty fire extinguisher with you? Why would you ever think that?
The only clue you're given to take the fire extinguisher with you is the fact that it doesn't tell you to abandon it.
Yeah. Because I think actually if you examine the thing, it tells you like, oh, it can be refilled or something. But even then, it's like you wouldn't really, like I don't know, you wouldn't really like think to keep it with you because it's in a separate like item box as opposed to like the normal one you use. So you would actually have to go out of your way to like pick it up and put it in the normal item box.
Which I did.
That's okay. That's good because that's the main problem a lot of people have, that they always forget to do that. I mean, you'll see later in the game when you play as Chris, you'll see, because there's a certain like you can actually refill it at a certain point in Antarctica.
It's given me a ton of arrows for the bolt.
Yeah,
the arrow. What the fuck is it called? Bolt gun.
The bolt. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's yeah. Because but I would definitely save all the explosive arrows for the plane tyrant because he's weak to it. But you can use the other arrows for like zombies and stuff because you definitely get a lot of arrows in that game.
Yeah.
A lot of bulk.
I haven't got. I'm not sure if I've gotten any explosive arrows yet.
Like you have to find like explosive powder, and then you combine it with arrows, and you can make.
I think I did find some explosive something.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah, all you have to do is combine it with the arrows, and you can make like a separate explosive arrows and stuff.
But I went back through the mansion where you meet Ashford as well, and did the whole thing where, spoiler alert, you find out about his dad, which would have been way more heartbreaking if Steve wasn't such a douche canoe.
Yeah, he's definitely not written that well, and the voice acting doesn't help. The campiness in general doesn't help.
God,
It's definitely.
he's like offensively Canadian.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay. You're quite lucky I did not
I said it was
shoot you when I
Suri.
first had that strong face of yours in my crosshair.
Oh my God, we get it. You're
But then,
Canadian.
had I killed you, I
The
would
voice
have
actor,
lost
anyway.
every room.
And oh yeah, the Dreamcast version has Leonardo DiCaprio's haircut, and that was actually changed in the Code Veronica X on the PS2 and GameCube and stuff. They changed his haircut. It's kind of funny. Of all things to change.
Yeah. Which is not the version that I have or the one that I'm playing. I'm playing the Dreamcast original.
Yeah. It still looks really good too, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good looking game, but Jesus Christ, Capcom, remake that one, please.
I think that's definitely going to be the next main series game that's going to be remade.
They should have
'Cause
done
actually-
it before 4.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah. In terms of like what should have happened, but I guess they're thinking of, well, RE4 is like one of the biggest games they have in the IP, so I guess it would make more sense for them to remake it for it. And also the fact that it's a number title, because Code Veronica is actually not really a mainline game. It's like a de facto mainline game. But like, I mean, it really is. It is a mainline game because it continues the main story. It continues Western story.
I was
Christmas
wondering
story.
if it was meant to originally be 3.
It was, it was meant to be 3. That's the main thing. But like, because it's a weird like history between like at the time, like because they had to make another game for the PlayStation and they were making a spin-off and that turned into Resident Evil 3. But Code Veronica was supposed to be Resident Evil 3. But it just, I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. It was supposed to, like, RE3 was going to be called Resident Evil Genesis or something. And it wound up turning into an actual Resident Evil 3.
Come on, let's play, Squid.
Because, like the beginning of Code Veronica references the events of RE2 as it is a sequel to RE2.
Yeah.
But it doesn't reference Raccoon City getting blown up, destroyed by.
Yeah. It's like 3 months. It's only like 3 months after the events of RE2, which is kind of weird when you think about it.
Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, this was meant to be Resident Evil 3, wasn't it? And I know someone at Capcom, I don't remember who, did an interview where they said that all the PlayStation ones were supposed to be the mainline ones.
Yeah, because they were definitely like contractually obligated, or I don't know if that's true or not, but they were supposed to make another PlayStation game. And but at that point in time, in '99, it was getting to the point where the PS2 was coming out the following year, so
yeah,
it was almost the end of.
I wonder, did they turn the side project into the real Resident Evil 3 because they were like, oh yeah, we got this contract, we gotta have this on the PlayStation, but we're developing this for the Saturn because it was originally in development for the Saturn. Thank God it skipped the Saturn because it's one of the best looking Dreamcast games.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, they were developing. They were gonna make an RE2 port on the Saturn because they did RE1 on the Saturn as well, and they had a thing with Sega, like, for that reason. But they started developing the RE2 port on the Saturn, but they stopped when the Saturn just kind of nosedived and, you know, nobody was buying it and whatever. So the whole thing with like Code Veronica was like I guess they wanted to like make up to like Sega, so they made Code Veronica exclusive for the Dreamcast to make up for the fact that they abandoned RE2 for the Saturn.
Yeah, it was originally in Code Veronica was originally in development for the Dreamcast or for the Saturn, and then they switched over to the Dreamcast, which I'm
Excellent.
thankful for because
This looks to be the hub control.
it resulted in
See if you
a
can find
better
some way to
looking,
rotate
probably
the track
better
from
playing game. Let's be honest. I mean, can you imagine it playing it that smooth on the Saturn as it
No.
does?
No.